It's finally here! M.Zuiko Digital ED 150-400mm f4.5 TC 1.25 XIS Pro. Hi there, my name is Peter Forsgard and I am an Olympus Visionary and a professional photographer from Helsinki, Finland. Let's get right into the business and talk with Jari Peltomäki, a Olympus Visionary bird photographer and a nature photographer from Finland. He has been using the new lens for a while.
Hello friends, greetings from Villa Fin Nature. We have been photographing today here. There are lots of birds coming to the feeder at Villa Fin Nature, and also golden eagle hide and eagle owl hides. They are working really well. I hope to see you all here in Finland whenever it's possible to travel again.
Yeah, and I will put the links in the description of this video so you know what Villa Fin Nature is and where to book your trips to photographing birds with Jari here in Finland. All right, how are you doing, Jari?
Very good, thank you. I have been last 3 days. I have been very happy man with.
Yeah, I can see that. And what do you have there on the table?
Oh, this is a very beautiful lens. This is really like for a bird photographer. This is like a dream lens. You know, this is what I was. I think it was 3 years ago when I visited Olympus headquarters in Tokyo, and this was the lens. They were asking from me, you know, what would be your favorite, you know, if you could wish one lens, what lens it could be? And I told them, oh, it should be 150-400 zoom lens. And I can't remember, to be honest, I can't remember if I wished the built-in teleconverter, but this is a great bonus. I mean, and this is the first impression, Peter, with this lens was that this is very lightweight lens, you know. If you think what it is, you know, from 150 to 400, then it's equivalent to 300 to 800, plus with the 1.25 converter, you can get a 1000 millimeter lens from it. And if you think what it is, it's very lightweight. It's very nice you can handhold it very easily. There's a very beautiful handle here and a very smooth movement of the lens around the handle, and you can zoom with 2 fingers. It's very nice and smooth, and it's just a really beautiful lens. This is a really well balanced combination, 1x and this zoom lens and the image stabilizer. It's working really well. You know, it has been very dark, probably some of the darkest days of the year because we don't have any snow yet. Saturday I was in our eagle hide, and I had two golden eagles coming down, and the third one was flying around.
Yeah, what about the autofocus? Works perfectly, most likely.
Yes, it seems to be amazingly good also. I've been mainly trying this bird AF tracking system, you know, and it does follow the flying birds and the sitting birds really well. It will recognize the shape of the bird, but then it will also look for the head and the eye.
Very interesting to hear what Jari had to say. But before we continue to talk with Jari, let's look at the specs of this lens first. Here are the specifications of this lens. I will go through the major specifications. Let's start with the focal length first. And here you have a chart that was provided by Olympus. It's made so that it is compared to a full frame. So you have the full frame equivalent field of view when I talk about the millimeters. Of course, the base focal length is 300 to 800 millimeters. But if you use the internal 1.25 extender, then you get from 375 millimeters all the way up to 1000 millimeters. If you have the 1.4 MC14 attached, then you will go from 400 to 1200. That is huge. But with MC20, you get 600 all the way up to 2000 millimeters. That's a lot of reach. And here is the construction of the lens. You got 28 elements in 18 groups. And here is the list of special elements that the lens has. And the AF construction is really small, so you don't have to move all these big lenses. You can only move these few lenses in the middle. And of course the lens is weather sealed. And no problem going outdoors photographing in a bad weather, because bad weather can give you some great images. And if you have the EM1X or any other very well weather sealed Olympus bodies, then the whole system is weather sealed. But are you weather sealed? And then the most astonishing number in the specs is number 8. And that number 8 means 8 stops of stabilizing with EM1X at 150mm focal length with this lens. 8 stops is astonishing. That's huge. The closest focusing distance is only 1.3 meters. So you can call it as a close-up lens. And the 1.3 meters is also with all the extenders, the built-in extender plus the MC20. So you have a 2000mm lens with the closest focusing distance of 1.3 meters. That's also pretty great. And here are some other specs. Size of the lens. The weight is 1875 grams. Length of the lens is 314.3 millimeters and the filter size is 95 millimeters. And then you have a lot of buttons on the side. You have the focus limiter, then you can turn off the autofocus, and then you can turn off the image stabilizer. And usually you need to do that if you use this lens with Panasonic cameras. And then you can also turn off all the beeping sounds from the camera. And then you have 4 LFN buttons, and also you can assign them to be a preset focus. So that when you press it down, it will focus to the preset distance that you have set the lens to focus. That's a lot of customizability like most Olympus cameras have. Are you excited about the lens that it's finally here? Please let me know in the comments down below. The price is around 7,000 euros/dollars, so it's not for everybody. As I said, I have not tested it yet. Unfortunately, I didn't have the possibility because there were only few lenses around going around Nordic, and all the bird and nature photographers got to test it first. And I understand they are the core thing because I'm not a bird or nature photographer, but I still will be able to test it later this year, and I will make my own video and my own first impressions about the lens. And before we continue, consider subscribing to my channel and hitting that notification bell so you won't miss any future videos. And also, hitting the like button is much appreciated. And also, I like to see some comments about the content of this video and general comments about photography too. But let's continue with Jari Peltomäki and see what he has to say about the image quality of the new lens.
I think this is one of the sharpest lenses what I have seen too, you know. So it's very crisp lens. So and yes, it's really, and I have used, you know, the pro lenses from Canon and Nikon and previous Olympus Pro lenses too, but this is amazingly sharp. So it's really it cuts your eye when you look at the images. It's so sharp. But I put the 2x converter on it, and I had a 2000mm lens, and I was taking sharp pictures of the golden eagle head.
I've said many times that I don't really need long telephoto lenses. I don't really have a need for that. I have the 40 to 150mm f2.8 Pro, and I have the 1.4 extender. That's plenty of reach for me. But for bird photographers, wildlife photographers, this is a must-have lens. That's what I've learned, and I can understand that because it's, like Jari said, it's a marvelous lens. But all in all, I'm very happy that the lens is finally here. It's been announced almost 2 years ago. It was 2019 when the M1X was announced. Then they told us that this lens will be in the making, and now it's finally here. And I hope that it will live up to its expectations, like we heard from Jari that might be the case. And I'm saying again, it is a must-have lens for Olympus bird and wildlife photographers. And the lens will be available in January 2021. Well, we still have to wait a couple of months for the lens to be, or before you can buy the lens. Of course, setting up the pre-order for the lens is wise if you really want it. Are you going to make a pre-order? Please let me know in the comments down below.
together with this lens and this new software thing in the 1X, I mean, this is a really game changer.
And, well, it's over there, is the video about the new firmware that was also launched. And that will be available in 3rd of December. You might want to watch that. There is some interesting stuff, especially for bird photographers. But hey, thanks for watching and bye for now.